Welcome back, warrior. We are now in Alma chapter 44, and I'm now entering a 5K. So I've already completed my 5K. The first chapter, Alma 43 was a little bit longer than I thought it would be. So no worries. Okay, so now we are. Moroni commands the Lamanites to make a covenant of peace or be destroyed. Zarahemnah rejects the offer, and the battle resumes. Moroni's armies defeat the Lamanites. So Moroni was showing some compassion there at the end of chapter 43, and he saw that the face of Zarahemnah was, and like all the people were struck with terror because Moroni's armies were surrounding them. But apparently Moroni was trying to be nice, showed some mercy, and we'll see what happens, huh? Okay, so, and it came to pass that they did stop and withdrew a pace from them. And Moroni said unto Zarahemnah, Behold, Zarahemnah, that we do not desire to be men of blood. Ye know that ye are in our hands, yet we do not desire to slay you. Right? Because that's not his intent. Like, that's not Moroni. He's like, we don't have to waste our time if we don't need to. You know what I mean? And I love that about Moroni. That's why he's the best. Anyway, behold, we have not come out to battle against you, that we might shed your blood for power. Neither do we desire to bring any one to the yoke of bondage. But this is the very cause for which ye have come against us. Yea, and ye are angry with us because of our religion. Right? I'm adding the question mark right there, because of our religion. But now ye behold that the Lord is with us, and ye behold that he has delivered you into our hands. And now I would that ye should understand that this is done unto us because of our religion and our faith in Christ. And now ye see that ye cannot destroy this, our faith. So I will add that whenever I'm reading, I'm going to add my own attitude in there. Probably Moroni did not say things as snarky as I do, but it helps me understand what I'm reading when I'm reading. So Moroni is talking to Zarahemnah, right? Okay, so now ye see, this is the true faith of God. Yea, ye see that God will support and keep and preserve us so long as we are faithful unto him and unto our faith and our religion. And never will the Lord suffer that we shall be destroyed, except we should fall into transgression and deny our faith. And now, Zarahemnah, I command you in the name of that all-powerful God, who has strengthened our arms, that we have gained power over you by our faith, by our religion, and by our rites of worship, and by our church, and by the sacred support which we owe to our wives and our children, by that liberty which binds us to our lands and our country, yea, and also by the maintenance of the sacred word of God, to which we owe all our happiness, and by all this is most dear unto us. And by all that is most dear unto us. I think I said this. Okay, so he's just having a nice talk with him, reminding him like, hey, you're the reason why we're in this fight. We don't want to fight. But the Lord can protect us. I love that. Yea, and this is not all. I command you by the desires which ye have for life, that ye deliver up your weapons of war unto us. And we will seek not your blood, and we will spare your lives, if ye will go your way, and come not again to war against us. And now, if ye do not this, behold, ye are in our hands, and I will command my men that they shall fall upon you, and inflict the wounds of death in your bodies, that ye may become extinct. And then we will see who shall have power over this people. Yea, we will see who shall be brought into bondage. I love this. He's like, listen, we don't need to fight, but if we do, you're going to be extinct. Love it so much. Okay. So we have a couple quotes. One from Elder Neil A. Maxwell. And it's from a book titled, For the Power is in Them. Ooh, yes. Okay, so he says, lest we think that the lot of a disciple is likely to be one in which he comes calmly to the cross and then carries it lightly to his own Calvary, there are The sober words of Moroni, whose efforts to bring about peace illuminated the basic and deep differences between the Lamanites and Nephites so clearly and with such pathos, that Moroni finally exclaimed, "Ye are angry with us because of our religion." It is a reminder of John's words, "Marvel not, my brethren, if the world hate you." End quote. Mm-hmm. And then Moroni testified that, "Ye behold that the Lord is with us." Right? Imagine that. And in the heat of the battle, Moroni is testifying of Christ. And now we see that this is true faith of God. Yea, ye see that God will support and keep and preserve us so long as we are faithful unto him, right? That's Moroni talking. I just love it, right? That he's just so brave, and he's just like, I'm gonna call it how it is, and the Lord is helping him. Okay, and then Heber C. Kimball says this: "Brethren and sisters, do not be the aggressors. Remember what you read in the Book of Mormon. Moroni said to Zarahemnah, will we spare your lives if you will go your way, or we will spare your lives if you will go your way and come not again to war against us. And now if we do not this, behold, ye are in our hands, and I will command my men that they shall fall upon you and inflict the wounds of death in your bodies, that ye may become extinct, and then we will see who shall have power over this people. That shows the mercy and compassion of our God. Although his enemies are in his hands, he will have mercy upon them. Just look at it and see what kind of a God we are serving." End quote. Love that. Right? Like, it's like, we are compassionate. We do have mercy, but don't mess. You know, if you're not going to retreat, we'll take you out. We'll take you out. Okay. 8 and 9. "And now it came to pass that when Zarahemnah had heard these sayings, he came forth and delivered up his sword and his scimitar and his bow into the hands of Moroni, and said unto him, Behold, here are our weapons of war. We will deliver them up unto you, but we will not suffer ourselves to take an oath unto you, which we know that we shall break, and also our children. But take our weapons of war, and suffer that we may depart into the wilderness. Otherwise we will retain our swords, and we will perish or conquer." Okay, what? That just seems messed up. Like, we might still want to fight you, so we're just going to give you our weapons this time because we lost, but we're going to come back later and try and up our game and come back. What? Like, that doesn't even... I guess it's a good thing he's honest. "Behold, we are not of your faith. We do not believe that it is God that has delivered us into your hands, but we believe that it is your cunning that has preserved you from our swords. Behold, it is your breastplates and your shields that have preserved you." Okay, whatever. Like, how do you think where do you think he got the idea for the breastplates, shields, and helmets? Where do you think he gets inspired from? The Lord provides these ideas for him because he knows the Lamanites are lame and are going to try to fight him all the time, right? Honestly, it's not the Lord. It's just your awesome skills at building shields and weapons and breastplates. Yeah, okay, guy. You're just missing it. You're missing it. Okay, verse 10. Hold on, there's a quote right here. And this is in a book called Faith and Reason. So this is Michael R. Ash, gives us this insight about the sacred oaths of the desert people. So this is like Lehi's family would have been taught and passed on. Okay. So among the desert people, an oath is the one thing which is held as most sacred. Arabs generally will not break an oath, even if their lives are in jeopardy. Nearly all Arabs, whether nomad or city dweller, believed that oaths were sacred and served as powerful covenants between two parties. The most binding oaths were those sworn by the life of something. As Dr. Hugh Nibley explains, the only oath more awful than by my life is the wahayat Allah, by the life of God. or as the Lord liveth, the Arab equivalent of the ancient Hebrew, Hi Elohim, end quote. Okay, so they took their oaths really seriously, right? Because, I mean, I guess he could just been like, okay, sure, we won't fight you, and then comes back to fight, right? And so, but I guess even the Lamanites wanted to be honest. Okay, and now when Zarahemnah, so verse 10, and now when Zarahemnah had made an end of speaking these words, Moroni returned the sword. Makes sense. It's fine. You're being difficult. You want us to take you out right now. Just, here's your swords back. Let's get it on, you know? And then speaking this words, Moroni returned the sword and weapons of war, which he had received unto Zarahemnah, saying, Behold, we will end the conflict. Now I cannot recall the words which I have spoken. Therefore, as the Lord liveth, ye shall not depart, except ye depart with an oath, that ye will not return again against us to war. Now as ye are in our hands, we will spill your blood upon the ground, or ye shall submit to the conditions which I have proposed. Right? Good for you, Moroni. Like do it, man. Okay, so verse 12. And now when Moroni had said these words, Zarahemnah retained his sword, and he was angry with Moroni, and he rushed forward that he might slay Moroni. But as he raised his sword, behold, one of Moroni's soldiers smote it even to the earth, and it broke by the hilt. And he also smote Zarahemnah, that he took off his scalp, and it fell to the earth. And Zarahemnah withdrew from before them into the midst of his soldiers. And it came to pass that the soldier who stood by, whom smote off the scalp of Zarahemnah, took up the scalp from off the ground by the hair, and laid it up upon the point of his sword, and stretched it forth unto them, saying unto them with a loud voice. This is the soldier now. I love it. He's like so courageous, just like Moroni. Even as this scalp has fallen to the earth, which is the scalp of your chief, so shall ye fall to the earth, except you will deliver up your weapons of war and depart with a covenant of peace. Get it? Now there were many, when they heard these words and saw the scalp which was upon the sword, that were struck with fear, and many came forth and drew down their weapons of war at the feet of Moroni, and entered into the covenant of peace. And as many as entered into a covenant, they suffered to depart into the wilderness. Dude, I would have totally took that deal. I don't want to keep fighting. Sure, take my weapons. Here you go. Especially because when you're just fighting because you just need to fight, it's so dumb. Now it came to pass that Zarahemnah was exceedingly wroth, and he did stir up the remainder of his soldiers to anger, to contend more powerfully against the Nephites. Yeah, because now he's mad that the soldier, Moroni's soldier, is commanding Zarahemnah's army, right? I know. I mean, for real. Now Moroni was angry because of the stubbornness of the Lamanites. For real. Like, really? We just got to keep fighting? Fine. We're going to keep fighting. Therefore, he commanded his people that they should fall upon them and slay them. And it came to pass that they began to slay them. Yea, and the Lamanites did contend with their swords and their might. But behold, their naked skins and their bare heads were exposed to the sharp swords of the Nephites. Yea, behold, they were pierced and smitten. Yea, and did fall exceedingly fast before the swords of the Nephites. And they began to be swept down, even as the soldier of Moroni had prophesied. For sure. Now Zarahemnah, when he saw that they were all about to be destroyed, cried mightily unto Moroni, promising that he would covenant, and also his people with them. See, like, why didn't you just do it at the beginning, idiot? If they would spare the remainder of their lives, that they never would come to war again against them. And it came to pass that Moroni caused that the work of death should cease among the people. And he took the weapons of war from the Lamanites, and after they had entered into the covenant with him of peace, they were suffered to depart into the wilderness. See, they're not murderers. They're just trying to protect people themselves. They're people and themselves. Now the number of the dead was not numbered because of the greatness of the number. Yea, the number of their dead was exceedingly great, both on the Nephites and on the Lamanites. See, they could have saved all those people. All those families, you know what I'm saying? And it came to pass that they did cast their dead into the waters of Sidon, and they have gone forth and are buried in the depths of the sea. And the armies of the Nephites or of Moroni, returned and came to their houses and their lands, and thus ended the 18th year of the reign of the judges over the people of Nephi. And thus ended the record of Alma, which was written upon the plates of Nephi. Psh, amazing, right? Like, what was that? Okay, so Zarahemna's cause was failing, so he lashed out one more time and stirred up his soldiers to fight, and the fight resumed, but more Lamanites died because of their lack of armor, and they began to die and be swept down. They were fighting a losing battle, so Zarahemna finally gave in and entered into that covenant. Moroni then stopped the war, took their weapons, and let them go. He did not take them as prisoners, right? Because that's like more work. But he let them go because he trusted in the oath they made. That is really powerful. Notice in verse 21 that there was a great number of the dead, both sides, from this battle. When the Nephites returned home, they would have to report to many wives and mothers that their husbands, fathers, and brothers had not survived this very crucial battle. This is, like, that's just sad. Like, why did we even have to fight, you know? And it's like, then you tell them, like, hey, well, if they're not going to retreat, then we got to keep fighting, which, I don't know, like it's just pointless, you know? And it's totally the same thing that Satan does to us, right? He's like making us, he wants us to instigate battles in our families, against other people, just out of being prideful, not because there's like a real threat. Okay, so this is the end of this particular battle, but the Lamanites will return soon enough with a much more dangerous leader. And notice that this is the end of Alma's record. In the next chapter, Helaman will be the record keeper. Alrighty. Now let's read our Read It, Live It. Oh man. Oh, my knee is starting to kill. We've covered about 4 miles now. Okay. All right. Well, this Read It, Live It is 44 and 45. So, but it's fine. So it says, Moroni tells Zarahemna that although he attacks the Nephites, he will never be able to destroy their faith. He cannot destroy this, our faith. Ye cannot destroy this, our faith. Vow to not let anything or anyone destroy yours. Oh, love it. All right. Until Alma chapter 45, stay strong, warrior. Don't let anything destroy your faith.